Working around the clock to protect the community. We've worked so hard. We've come such a long way. A bunch of yahoos from the Queen's Park, from the Queen's Park. A bunch of yahoos from the Queen's Park, from the Queen's Park. A bunch of yahoos thinking it's all right, from the Queen's Park. A bunch of yahoos from the Queen's Park, from the Queen's Park. We need to hold on. If we move too quick, everything we're doing might have been for nothing. People are talking all real, and they're real, and that it's not happening yet.
Prime Minister, why are Canadians funding research done by the Chinese military? Trudeau, answer. I noticed you changed your mask from the black one. Justin Trudeau, of course, is not answering any questions right now. He's more preoccupied with shutting down government.
Dr. Tam, did you want to add anything?
No, I think that, as in any gatherings, follow your local public health advice, but doing it as safely as possible, I think, is the key from a health perspective. So I think, as the minister said, try to maintain that physical distance, but one might sort of perceive that this could be difficult to maintain. So definitely wearing a mask, having hand sanitizers, or having access to hand washing will be very important. One thing that people may want to consider is that, of course, wearing a mask is important, but shouting and making really loud sort of projections can potentially increase the risk. And so, I might want to choose other means of showing or messaging, whether it's be signage or making noise using other instruments, for example. It's just to consider that, shouting and that type of behavior can potentially project more droplets. But be considerate of others. I think people are out to protest, to support a common goal. So.
Angry Beaver Radio. This is our COVID-19 truth. We've got a lot of pandemic lockdown. We've moved from a phase 1 lockdown to a level 9 riot. At least we've got on the streets everything the New World Order's taking over. We've got Mike on the line with new pictures from the streets and the beach. We've got protest movements, Take a Knee, Who Can't Breathe, Antifa is running wild. We've got a Justice for Big Floyd movement, and the secret virus is still rolling. Open up the earth. The Nature Boy is calling. Mike, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm with you there, Daniel. I'm here.
Nice. So how's it going these days with the lockdown? A lot has happened since the last show. Lot's going on.
Hey, yeah, there's still people that are still scared to go out without a mask on, and they're trying to go through all these phases. And what I'm thinking, these phases are not bringing back to the normal. They're bringing in the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of the new normal. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, it seems like the new normal is the New World Order. Once we have it here with basically you need to wear a mask everywhere.
Yeah, because here in Mississauga, what they're doing with the transit system here, they're trying to go back to fare system again, like they did before. But they want the passengers to be required to wear a mask when they come on the bus.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's turned to a mask world order for public transit.
Yeah.
I wonder where else will go mask. Maybe certain stores.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like joking around saying, people say, well, I don't wear a mask because, what happens if you want to go and rob a bank? I joked about it and I said, if I go in the bank and I want to rob the bank, if I'm wearing a mask, they're going to recognize me and say, oh, yeah, this guy's name is Michael. He wants to rob the bank. But I'm going to go in without a mask on, so they won't even recognize me. How about that?
Well, Joe Biden's wearing a mask. There's
well, that's a given, right?
Different characters. Trudeau, I think, wore a mask when he went out to take a knee.
Yeah. Mm.
Dan Dix is not wearing a mask though. He was out at a few protests. Did you see that on the weekend?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Mhm.
Looks like he's under attack though. Antifa is brutal.
Yeah. Mhm. Well, the bikers down in the United States, I think in California, whatever, they said a couple of the bike gangs got together, like the Hell's Angels, another bike gang got together and basically said, because Antifa were threatening everybody, says, so, well, you want to take us on, you're gonna pay the consequences. And the bikers showed up and said, well, you want somebody to fight? Let's go. We'll take you on.
Wow.
So, the bikers are not going to take any crap from these young punks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's turned to. That basically you're seeing fights on the street, different groups against groups. But I guess that's why Dan Dix needs a few security around him now. Because he's under attack.
Yeah. Well, I put a comment there and I said the truth has always been a target.
Out in Vancouver. And then what it looked like was Antifa surrounded him, started calling him racist and stuff, and then the police came in and like took him out. As they're taking him out, they're making it seem like it's for his safety, and then they end up arresting him though within a few.
Yeah, I heard about that.
100 yards of walking out, I guess.
Yeah, but then they let him go after the fact.
Yeah, a few hours later, it sounded like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they probably realized that because he didn't do any crime, that there was nothing really they could keep him for or get a charge out of.
Yeah, true. I agree with you.
They were going to give him disturbing the peace, but really the other people were disturbing him. So.
Yeah, that's why you kind of see who's on your side and who isn't.
Yeah.
Because when I was down by the lake, I was talking to this Polish fellow. But I told you maybe before the show started that he knew Alex Jones and all this kind of stuff. We're talking about that type of thing, and we're talking about what Trudeau was doing and stuff like that too. And and I said, I guess not too loudly, but loudly enough so somebody else mentioned, like when I said, we gotta get Trudeau out, and the guy walked by and it says yes, and he puts his hands in the air. In agreement, because he heard what we were talking about. It was so funny.
We have seen Trudeau recently take a knee. He's surprisingly took a knee for justice, racial justice, different. What happened was as he was walking, I guess either after he took the knee or right before when he was walking out, someone yells out, Trudeau blackface. Or go home blackface, I think they say. Go home blackface.
Yeah. That's funny.
You could tell he heard it too. So that's the one thing where Justin Trudeau will try to stand for racial inequality or injustice, but then he can't remember how many times he did blackface, which is
that's true. Yeah.
trouble that came up. It was multiple times, and then he couldn't remember how many. So basically, he thought it was only a few, and then more footage kept coming out.
Yeah.
There was a guy that. Did you see a guy in Toronto showed up in blackface though? There was that.
Yeah.
incident.
Yeah. Blackface has been going on since vaudeville. Like the jazz singer Al Jolson. He had a blackface.
Mm-hmm.
He sang the song "Mammy."
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was up? What was up with that back in those days? That was in 1927. One of the early talkies.
I think it might have even been the first. It won like a special Academy Award or something. I think it was.
Yes. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then that's why it's like a famous movie in film history, but it's considered racist, I guess, because of the blackface.
Yeah. But I don't know if anybody said anything at that time, like you shouldn't be doing that type of thing.
Yeah.
But look back in the Cowboys and Indian days, they had white guys portraying Native people.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboy and Indians, that type of thing.
Yeah, it's true. They're going to start erasing all those movies. Those will all be gone soon, too. They're pulling down the Confederate statues, you're seeing. those are going.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I
And
think they even pulled a Abraham Lincoln one down in UK somewhere.
yeah. Yeah. You know what I found out in Toronto just the other day that on University Avenue, right?
Mhm.
Um, in the center, you got a lot of plants are there. You got a lot of people could sit and just be around, sort of like nature, right in the middle of the street. And this guy, he was filming some cops taking those big round rocks that sometimes are usually used for people's gardens and stuff.
Yeah.
The cops were taking all those rocks.
Yeah, they were. Well, they did say that on the news that they found them stashed around downtown.
Yeah, they were stashed right. They took them right from in the center of University and put them out near the curb of the northbound lane.
Huh.
Yeah, the cops stashed a whole bunch of them there. And this guy filmed the whole thing
Oh wow!
and started giving the
If you
cops
can
shit.
find the cops stashing it, then that's a big one.
Yeah, he found the cops doing it, and he was
Yeah,
filming at the cops doing it, right?
because then maybe they just didn't, because they didn't seem to go wild this weekend, but maybe they were just gaining the weaponry, gathering forces. They can go wild another next weekend
Mhm.
or something.
Yeah,
Be-
but the cops were saying that the city's going to pick them up, and the guy is saying no, you're doing that on purpose
Mhm.
because you know that the Antifa or the protesters are going to come down University, and they're going to have to use these rocks as weapons.
Yeah,
So what happened was that this guy was giving shit to the cops and saying, "You can't do this, man. This is not right. You should know better than to do this. You should, do what's right. Put them in the garbage." So eventually, the cops and this guy with other people around him picked all these rocks up that were on the ground in a pile
Mhm.
and put them all in the garbage across the street.
Wow.
And the cops basically said to them, were taking selfies with the cops and everything like that. And the one cop said, "Well, it's great to see the community coming together." And they were the ones that putting the rocks there, waiting for the protesters to use them for breaking windows and stuff like
Wow. So maybe whoever noticed this, whoever the guy was or the people around, might have actually saved the day because there wasn't really a big riot on the
No.
weekend. So either it was because they took the weapons away, or just the
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
were somehow able to get the weapons still, and they're just biding time, because all these businesses boarded up their business too, so there wasn't
Yeah.
as much stuff to smash
Yeah. Like the
as
Eaton
what
Center.
we've seen in other places. There is definitely the clip, though, famous one in Minneapolis, where it's the cop. You see him wearing the gas mask. He's holding a
Yeah.
big umbrella. You've seen that clip? He's breaking windows.
Yeah. Yeah.
The protesters confront him. They're asking who he is, why he's breaking out all the windows.
Yeah. I sent something about that, but about cops being the instigators.
Yeah.
And Facebook took it down and said that was false information.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're
They
saying,
don't
well,
want to know they don't want to know the true side of Antifa, or at least like half of them are undercover cops.
yeah, just like the G20,
Yeah.
same thing. And
Yeah. And it seems at least the ones that want to do the most damage are the police. There's some others that'll do a bit less damage maybe there.
I thought the police chief was a little bit better than that other knucklehead,
Did
from
you
before.
see the police chief of Toronto resigned? He also resigned. This is
Oh, really? He did, eh?
days after taking a knee. Yeah, he just did yesterday, I guess, resigned.
Oh,
So they're looking for a replacement. He's on still though till the end of July. So
yeah. That's enough time so they can put in another puppet.
Yeah. And he's good friends with Bill Blair, so he's probably going to get a job with Justin Trudeau if he needs one.
Yeah.
They have a big job coming up because they have to round up all those guns. It's thousands of them.
Yeah.
They're trying to do mass gun confiscation.
Oh, for sure. Not like in the United States, where one guy was saying, like, "Hey, look, because Antifa and their gang want to go into rural areas and start trouble there."
Wow.
And one of the homeowner said, you can come out here and try if you want, but you're not going to succeed because you're going to need, make sure you bring your hearse with you because you're going to need it. Oh yeah. He says, I'm a nice guy compared to some of the people around me. They wouldn't give a second thought about putting a bullet in your head.
Well, if you survive COVID, you might not survive these riots. This is the new pandemic.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like 2 meters apart, but everybody's there all in a crowd. I mean, like, isn't anybody worried about falling dead to this rapid disease?
Well, I guess the Tam was a bit concerned about this, the head of Health Canada, because she did say people shouldn't yell probably at the protests.
Yell or
Everything
sing.
other than that, everything's fine. Just don't yell. Maybe wear a mask if you're out.
Well,
If you're out, you can't distance.
Yeah.
They've decided that this one is fine, but they've actually made clear, and this one is pretty extreme, that a bunch of these health professionals signed this letter about how it's fine for this protest is fine, but they make clear in the letter that it's this does not mean we're condoning the white protesters protesting the lockdown or something. It has a line like that. So as long as you're out protesting anti-racism or police brutality, it's fine. But if you're protesting the lockdown,
yeah, then it's a different story.
yeah,
for sure.
and then they're actually using these racial terms in it, so that's how you know how far they've gone to this identity.
Yeah.
Identity politics.
Yeah, wasn't the Simpsons who actually predicted in the 90s that the death of George was going to happen? I seen a clip where this officer had his leg on this guy's neck.
Oh wow!
It was George.
Wow, his name was George.
Yeah, George. So called killed.
George Floyd, yeah.
George
Who's
Floyd.
known as Big Floyd in his adult film career. He's actually an adult film star.
Yeah.
That's what I realized when I was thinking why they weren't talking about his past. Like, why won't they talk about it? But it's actually ends up being worse than that. It's actually, I think they won't talk about it just because of all the crime stuff that he was involved with. Where the reason he moved to Minneapolis was after he had done the 5-year jail thing.
Yeah.
Because he invaded a woman's home or something.
Yeah, but wasn't that cop supposedly a cop? They were friends.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Is that actually it turned out that George Floyd ended up getting this job at the nightclub, the same nightclub that cop is working at, and the nightclub is being used as a money laundering thing, and that's why they had all the fake money.
Yes.
And that George Floyd, and they were supposed to wait till the club reopened to use the fake money, but then George Floyd ended up using it early. He used it at this business. And who knows what he was buying. He could have been buying stuff to do with drugs, because they did say he was on all these different drugs, the fentanyl and methamphetamines and different stuff. So who knows what you need to take all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they could have been selling that kind of stuff at Cup Foods, and then what happened, he used the fake bill. He wasn't supposed to, and then they ended up calling the police. They also say, though, that he was acting drunk or something, too, in the thing, in the store. Yeah. So I think what it looked like from the video was that he just stayed down. Like, he didn't want to get up for them to put him in the car.
Yeah.
And then the guy definitely looks like it doesn't look like a police move the way he's got it on his neck. Like, because I know the police move is really they put it on the thing where your neck connects to your back. It's not on your neck really.
Yes,
What they
right, right.
usually do, and they usually only do it till they put you in the handcuffs. Then they let you up. It's like
Yeah.
for him to hold it there for minutes, it does seem like he was like trying to murder him. That's where I think that's
Yeah.
what could have actually happened was that it was the cop has a potential of getting off because they're not charging him with the real murder. That was like an actual premeditated murder, whereas they're charging him with like a accidental murder or whatever, and
Yeah. Or did they blame it
second
COVID-19 on
degree.
that?
Well, yeah, there was also COVID too, positive COVID and heart disease or something.
Yeah. Which I think is a little bit far-fetched. But when I was looking at the cop, I seen a close-up, and the badge that he was wearing wasn't even real.
Huh.
Wasn't even a real badge. It looked like it was like a patch or something like that.
They did interview neighbors too that said they didn't even know he was a police. Well, I think there was a weird thing where it says park police on the car, so I don't know if they were real cops.
Yeah.
They might have been real cops, but like supposed to be working in the park. I don't know how Minneapolis works in that way. But from what
Yeah.
it seems like, all the cops are going to be done anyways. They let the one police precinct burn down, and then now it looks like they're going to disband the cops and do some kind of new model of policing. I don't know what they're going to come up with.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They have a big Somalian community there because Omar's working there, and that's where the person that owned that club, that was the nightclub they both worked at, is apparently one of the biggest donors for Omar.
Right, right.
Is actually the guy that owns the club. So you
And I
don't know
also,
how connected everything is with the drugs and the fake money laundering rings and.
Mhm. Yeah, I found that this video clip, this guy talking about this is a crisis actor. They were using crisis actors for this. That George was not killed.
Well, anything's possible. The cop doesn't look like the cop definitely doesn't look like a real cop. The way plus he looks at the camera so many times that it doesn't, like why is he actually just staring into the camera, not saying anything? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah,
It's almost like they want him to be identified, like he wanted to have a pause, make sure he
yeah,
got the shot. And like why the camera guy didn't move over to show all the cops on him, because it looks even more hardcore when you see the shot across the street where you see three guys are on him at the same time.
yeah, true. Yeah,
But apparently the big secret thing is that they don't want to show any of the footage from right before that. But apparently they have it, at least from the cameras that the cops were wearing themselves, which they haven't
yeah,
released any of the footage.
right.
So you don't know really what was happening. Definitely the security camera footage that they released from before, where he's just talking to like the cops who were the rookie cops or whatever. It
Yeah,
didn't seem like he did really anything wrong. Like he's definitely seemed to be cooperating with them.
yeah. Well, this
And then
guy
it
was.
just cuts to where they're across the street and this other guy's arrived. The guy that
Yeah.
they say killed
Well,
Chauvin.
yeah, because this guy was saying that George was a Freemason and all that kind of stuff, and the whole bit that he didn't die. He was, he's still alive and all that kind of stuff. But I
Oh, wow.
posted it on Facebook, and then Facebook came back and took it down and said that's false news.
Yeah. They definitely want to have him that he passed away because they've had so many funerals for him. The big one was today where he's being carted off in the carriage, the horse and carriage.
Yeah,
But they had the other one in Minnesota and another one in North Carolina. And now this is the big one in Houston, I guess, is where.
yeah,
That's where he had the adult film career and where he had the Life of Crime too, where he's got all the big rap sheet.
yeah.
But before that, he might have been on the right path when he was growing up in North Carolina. Because did you see this clip where this woman says she's was George's old school teacher? That she
Oh.
kept his old report saying that he wanted to be a Supreme Court judge.
Yeah,
And
right.
She showed it up to the camera.
Yeah.
So you never know. Because there is the
Yeah.
whole story where George Floyd was born again Christian. He had gone to Minneapolis. He had found God, and
Yeah.
a church group had sent him there.
Right.
So we'll never know. But the one thing I did watch was the documentary on the L.A. riots, 1992,
Right.
after the Rodney King verdict,
Yeah, I remember that.
and then what the Rodney King eventually comes out after a few nights of rioting and does say he goes like, "Can't we all just get along?" And so he doesn't want the fires to be happening and stuff.
Yeah, true.
So there's always a chance George Floyd wouldn't want any of these riots if he had lived through the
Yeah.
murder.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, most of these riots have nothing to do with George at all. Anyway, it's just a Marxist, anarchist, um, communist type of affair going on here. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with George. It's basically a slap in the face to him.
Mm-hmm.
What they're trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the only if he did pass away, the one thing is that at least his some of his kids might get some money because they have raised millions of dollars. So
Yes, true.
you
Yeah,
expect at least a few thousand to get to the kids eventually.
true. Yeah.
Most of it will probably be taken by the elite people that are running it. All the
Yeah. Yeah.
all there's
Yeah.
different. Well, the one thing is that a lot of people have passed away during this whole COVID thing, but none of them have really been treated like the way George Floyd has. So
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
he's got these big protests. He's had multiple two memorials and one funeral, whereas most people aren't even allowed one funeral at all. So
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, but
so
they
this
kind of
was basically the worst time to pass away.
yeah. If I guess just anybody for that matter, when you think
Yeah.
about it, because
Yeah.
everything is COVID-19. You know, if you jump off the Empire State Building, and that's
Mhm.
COVID-19. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I talked to one Polish fellow that he was talking about two nurses. He was talking about from Trillium and Credit Valley, and they were saying the nurses were saying that there's nothing going on in these hospitals. They're just normal procedures going on.
Wow.
That's what these nurses told him,
Hmm.
that there was nothing going on.
Yeah, which is scary because there's got to be still people that are sick and stuff. They're probably not allowed to go to the hospital or just too afraid to of COVID or.
Yeah, well, I mean, just all you have to do is just stay home, get better, and you know, take vitamin D, get out, get some sunshine, fresh air, and live a normal life. Then you get better, right? There's no reason to be sick in this weather.
Mhm.
There's no reason to be sick.
Yeah.
The real pandemic is the fear that the government and the media are doing. That's what it is.
Mhm.
No,
So you're
everybody
bracing for a second wave, just not in this weather, maybe in a different.
probably in the yeah. Like I said before, all these phases are basically to bring in the new normal, right? It's
Yeah.
true. It's to bring in the new normal,
It's the New World Order.
new world order normal. Like I mean, and and what this Polish fellow said, he knew this guy in Poland, um, who was in a fatal bicycle accident or motorbike accident, and split his head open. He was gone. But then he knew this guy, and then when he waited for the report came back COVID-19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Just from a bicycle accident. Wow.
yeah. This guy was what, 60 years old, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So COVID-19 can be anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So you never know when they're going to pull out a second wave, when they're going to pull out a spike in the curve.
Oh, for sure. I'm just waiting for that fork in the road to see which way it's going to go. You know what I mean? So,
Well, this was a deadly pandemic just before all this, before racism hit.
yeah.
But the numbers had already proven themselves false like weeks before. We've already talked about that on multiple shows.
Yes, we
That
did.
there's no real reason for the lockdown. They're just trying to be cruel at this point.
Yeah, you got to be cruel to be kind. Is that what they're trying to tell you?
They're slowly opening things though. They're starting with all the non-essential things first. And then you can tell last will be churches, because that seems to be the one they hate the most.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But the abortion
That's why
clinics
Trump
are
did the ultimate trolling when he walked across. Did you see where he walks across the White House to that old church holding the Bible?
open. Good.
You can tell Antifa would have been pissed off when they saw that.
Oh, yeah, definitely, for
Because
sure.
they had tried to burn that church down in Washington for
Yeah,
the night before.
yeah.
Some historic church.
Mhm.
The biggest one was when they burned the precinct, though, down in in Minneapolis, because
Yes, yeah.
that's really what sparked a lot of this.
Yeah,
It was
because
like a true sign of anarchy, but I think the cops might have just left it open,
yeah.
just
Well, look,
like now they do seem to, if they're not actually leaving the bricks out themselves, then they do seem to be letting it happen when you see it happen everywhere.
yeah. Acme Brick Company.
The bricks are showing up. Yeah, Acme Brick. There was apparently a Warren Buffett company who's aligned with Bill Gates.
Acme stuff was also on the Roadrunner show.
Yeah, it is a Looney Tunes type thing
Oh, yeah.
that's going on.
Oh boy.
This is what reality's turned to. The sad part is, though, the amount of people that have died during the riots. There's at least 15. There's more than 15, but I read an article where they list 15.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Multiple police. There's multiple videos where you see people driving through crowds too.
Right.
Protesters and cops. I've seen both. They're driving through.
Yeah. Well, Montreal had something going on there the other day because the Truth Girl, Sonia and Karen,
Mhm.
walking down St. Catherine Street and wondering why all these like bricks from Acme Brick Company there, like, and they're looking up and there's no reason for these bricks to be here. I don't see any construction going on here. That require these bricks.
Wow, that is funny because I did see that in different other cities too in the U.S. They had that. People finding
Yeah.
the stacks.
Then Sonia and Karen saw the cops on bicycles coming up the street, and then all you saw was the cop paddy wagons coming up the street, just like at the G20, right? They're all coming up the street and getting ready for something,
Yeah.
right? Because they did have a protest there, and the protest was supposed to be for a couple of hours, but it sort of went on a little longer, and then they're kind of worried. Well, maybe we should get going or something like that, or we want to find out what's going to happen. Is there going to be an uprising and a big riot going on? But eventually, down the road, something happened where the cops just all dispersed. The trucks all driven down the street, going away, and then the cops just dispersed and went away like a miracle happened. There was nothing going on. No riot started at all.
Wow.
Right? Because on one side you had people that are just onlookers, right? Because the cops didn't want anything to do with onlookers. They wanted something to do with the protesters, like at the G20, But nothing happened. So Sonia was basically almost in tears, thinking that thought that was a miracle from God that nothing happened. Everybody just went on normal after after 2-3 hours.
Wow.
You can probably check on Truther Girl's the latest video. You can
Yeah,
check that
I'll
out.
look for that one because maybe it was the weekend before where it looked like pretty wild in Montreal.
And the mysterious black box right near, right one of the intersections.
Huh.
The mysterious black box.
So then Dan Dix was out in Vancouver. That one looked pretty wild too, I guess.
Yeah. I like Vancouver. I've been there. It's nice. But he got clubbed over the head, or somebody threw a bottle and knocked him silly, and then they arrested him and ganged up on him and threw him in jail because they don't want the truth to come out.
Yeah, and they also don't like what he did with where he was supporting the lockdown protests because
Yeah.
that's when protesting was bad. Just a few weeks ago, they were telling them that they were killing people, that just being out there. Doug Ford called them a bunch of yahoos. Anyone
Yeah.
that would protest the lockdown, you're putting lives at risk. And then all of a sudden, now it's recommended by these health experts.
Yeah. True. Yeah. But he's saying for everybody to stay home, all this kind of stuff. And, a bunch of yahoos protesting, but Antifa and their gangs, they're out there protesting, but that's okay.
Yeah,
There's
they've
nothing wrong.
decided it's a different standard.
Different standard. Yeah. They're like, it's stupid on its face. Give me.
That's why, yeah. Once they take over, though, the guys like Dan Dix and Angry Beaver Radio will all be shut down, sent to the re-education camps because we're not going along with the New World Order. Basically,
Yeah.
they have an agenda. They have some vaccines they want to get in here with COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. The government ordered 37 million syringes. 37
And
million
didn't they
syringes.
announce they brought in the Chinese army to help with administering
Yeah.
the vaccine? So you don't know what kind of deal Trudeau's making behind the scenes.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I forgot to mention before the show, Daniel, about the black helicopter.
Well, you saw one recently?
I saw about almost a week ago. I was riding up Eglinton. There's a bike path there it's close to the 401, and the airport's just on the other side of that. And I just glanced over and I noticed a black helicopter.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going,
Black helicopter in the sky.
yeah, it was. I had to look very quickly because it was going down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I was looking at, there were factories and buildings and stuff like that. So I had to really look quickly. And it was a big black helicopter.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, what's going on here? So I rode up to Renforth, and I thought, you know what, I have to investigate this.
Mm-hmm.
So I rode back down Eglinton, and one of the other roads that goes up towards Orbiter Drive. Sometimes I sit there and have a drink of water, whatever. And I'm just looking over there to see where that black helicopter was, but I couldn't see exactly where it was. Because they have a lot of buildings on the airport grounds, right? So it must have been on the other side of one of the buildings inside the air.
Still hovering though in the air, or is it landed now?
I believe it landed.
Ah.
Right, because you know how airplanes come in, they get lower and lower and lower, right?
Yeah.
It was doing basically the same thing.
Huh.
I'm thinking this is weird. What the?
And you don't know of a helicopter pad over there? No landing pad.
Well, there's I just think that they would just use the runway in general, right? There's no need for I've never seen a helicopter pad right in the middle of the airport.
Ah.
But there's something going on somewhere. That's black helicopters are military, aren't they?
Yeah. But they could also be just doing some kind of secret business. You could be transporting someone famous, someone Could be
Yeah.
bringing ISIS in. Could be bringing in different viruses and
Yeah. I've never seen,
veils. It could be.
I've never seen that before. I'm just kind of, yeah, I'm stuck for words, but I did see one.
Wow.
A
Yeah,
black,
and that was part of the Iran, the what they call the Iran deal, where the Obama sent like $1 billion cash and
yeah.
kind of helicopter over to Iran, I think,
Yeah.
or maybe they flew it in, I guess, on a helicopter.
Yeah.
The
So, yeah, we got to keep an eye on this to find out maybe there could be something going on here.
yeah, definitely for sure. But what were those other pictures you sent? There were some other ones. It was looked like a
Oh, there's that the red one that it showed by the airport there. There's you get those big signs, electric signs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you bring it in closer, I don't know if you could read it, but I'll tell you what it says. So magnify it a little bit and see if it comes up strong for you.
Is it the one that was like a computer screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it said something with it was something
It
with
said-
COVID, wasn't
yes, yeah, it says it actually says save the world, wear a mask.
it?
That's what it says. Save the world, wear a mask.
Let me see. Small references.
I went
I
past,
see asymptomatic. I see the one that has an asymptomatic transmission.
yeah. Well, that's from the WHO.
Yeah, who does not develop symptoms? Asymptomatic refers to transmission from a person who does not develop symptoms. There are a few reports of laboratory confirmed cases. There has been no documented asymptomatic transmission. This does not exclude the possibility that it may occur.
Yeah,
They can't even prove that. So if
yeah,
they can't prove that, then why do the people that test asymptomatic have to stay home?
exactly. Yeah, but they said it was up to date as of what May 18th it said on there.
Hmm.
So nobody has gotten the virus from person to person all over the world. That's
Yeah,
what they're saying. Yeah.
yeah. At least a person to person that isn't showing the symptoms. What what's this other picture though, where you got a police line do not cross?
Oh, that was just before they opened Marie Curtis Park Beach. The police had put that line there.
So
Do not
this
cross.
beach had been closed for COVID. It was
Yes,
closed.
but yeah. But now it's and a week afterwards, I went back down there, and the police line was gone, and people were out there swimming.
Wow. Had you ever seen any illicit activity though in this park? Because I do remember this one they had the raid where there was like some kind of orgies happening there at night or something.
No, I haven't seen anything.
Just
Most
when you
people,
brought up that name, Marie Curtis Park, I do remember it happening years ago.
yeah, yeah,
Could be like 5 years ago now or something.
yeah. But I went there yesterday. I went down there to see what was going on, and everybody was out at the park. That's where I talked to this Polish fellow.
Wow. So is everyone distancing or everyone
Um,
enjoying new normal or old normal?
I it looks sort of like a bit of both, but
Ah,
but there are people out there that are in the water or something like that. But most people look like they were, like distancing themselves from each other. But
wow.
when I was talking to the Polish guy, we were not like 2 meters apart. We were a little bit closer than that because he had his daughter with her and all that kind of stuff. And he was telling me about an instance where he went to go across the USA, right? And they told him to get out of his car. They wanted to actually search his car and the whole bit. And they said that that the border guards were asking him, "Do you know Alex Jones?" and he's a Polish guy, and he said, I've heard of him, but I don't know him. But then eventually he was let go to go through, you know. But why would you say, do you know Alex Jones?
Did you see where the InfoWars vehicle went to one of the protests? They got attacked by Antifa. They tried to break the window, but then the window's like reinforced on it. It's like this huge Hummer that's
Yeah.
with a loudspeaker on the top. So
Yeah.
Antifa couldn't really break the window. They did chip it. They made a few dents in it, but
Yeah.
they couldn't even crack it, really. It was the InfoWars vehicle, but it wasn't Alex Jones doing the announcement, so I don't know who was driving it or who was
Right.
who was in it. But it might have even been the Austin, Texas rally, because they've had one in every city, it seems like.
True, yeah.
But I don't think it would have been this big if everyone had still been at school and like all the kids that were at school and people were still working and everything. It's just because of the lockdown. This has become like the biggest protest.
Yeah, sure. That's all what it's all about, you know.
Yeah.
But Doug Ford said, if you keep doing this, it's going to put us months behind.
Yeah. So they will try to stretch it out. We're into at least to the fall now. It looks like could be 2021.
Is that before or after the second wave? You know?
Doug Ford is doing some kind of cheesecake. He's having fun.
He wants everybody to get into the cheesecake phenomenon, you know?
Yeah, they did open food trucks and ice cream trucks, but like just a week or two before, they had done a huge fine on one of these ice cream trucks. So yeah, Rebel News has got all those different fines. People are still getting them.
Yeah.
Restaurants now they can open up on a patio level, but not in interior, not indoors.
Right. Is that one of Ford's second phases? Is that more people can gather now?
Yeah, there's supposed to be up to 10 people coming this weekend. It's up to 5 right now.
Oh, okay.
But we could be up to 10 by this weekend if all goes to plan. We just can't trust that they'll follow through because right now they're being mean. They're not playing nice.
Well, of course not. That's not their job. Sure. And our job is to bend down, lick their boots, kick their butt, kiss their butt, and everything else. That's all it is. I tell
Well,
people
you've seen how
well,
it's set up where he's staring into the camera and he's got the two people, one over, they have a different look on their press conferences.
Yeah.
They're distancing, but it looks more like something out of a sci-fi movie, like
Yeah.
what the strange aliens forces would have on screen in Star Trek when you see on screen their first appearance.
Yeah, really.
That'd be the setup. And then Doug Ford's in the middle explaining why we've got to lock the planet down for COVID. The thing is, they did say that of 40 years old or younger, only one person has died in all of Toronto. So,
Daniel, are you trying to tell me I should be worried?
well, maybe if you have any of the preconditioning symptoms, or if you're planning to move to the retirement home, the old age home, because that's where almost everything is in a long-term care home. That's what they call it, long-term care.
Yeah. Well,
or over 80% of the deaths I've been in long-term care home.
Exactly. Yeah.
And majority of them are older than the average age people die.
Yeah.
Once they revealed that, then that's when you have to really question the whole logic of the lockdown.
Yeah. Well, didn't Ford say he wanted to look into this? Why the whole system failed?
Yeah. So he's going to create a new commission, something to look into long-term care. He had already established a whole ministry of it, though. So, and he seems to have no interest in firing the minister for letting all this happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I tell you, Daniel, there's going to be tons and tons of lawsuits going on here. I mean, the big ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there should be the biggest one should be in New York because New York is where they killed the most. That's where
Yeah,
it was really deadly.
yeah.
The
Because
governor of New York even signed the order saying that the nursing homes weren't allowed to say no to getting the COVID patients
yeah,
after they had tested positive. They had to take them,
right.
and it really spread throughout those. And instead of just trying to protect those people from the beginning, where they could have really saved some people, they decided to try this experiment where they lock every healthy person down, which they've never done before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
This is a new thing in the history of science. They're trying to rewrite the book here.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Dr. Fauci, Cat in the Hat, Bill
cat in the
Gates,
hat. Well,
Green Eggs and
Doctor
Ham.
Fauci,
There's some different.
well, Doctor Fauci is the one that said there's going to be a pandemic coming in 2020, and he said that in a video on what 2017. He said that, and it's going to be on Trump's you know, in his presidency.
Yeah, he just knew. He could feel it coming. He knew it was going to be on the way. And then really event 201 is they totally give it away. It's the smoking gun because they have outlined the whole thing
Right.
within like a few weeks of it actually happening.
Yeah.
They just started off slow. What they did was they only did it in China for a bit just to
Yeah.
see how it would go. And then they really started spreading it out around March, really. So we haven't had the lockdown as long as some have had.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well,
finally things are opening up. They did say they've opened up New Zealand, I think was open.
yeah. And Japan is opened up now too as well.
Oh, Japan's open. That's good.
Yeah, yeah. And Poland, the guy that I talked to is from Poland. He said basically we did the right thing, and Poland's back to normal, and even Switzerland are back to normal because what they did was that we never did here was anybody who suffered with COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, the older people, we took care of them, and we left the healthy people alone.
Yeah.
And they basically had hardly any deaths because they took care of the most vulnerable people.
Mhm.
But we didn't over here. We just let these older people go because
Yeah.
there's a hidden agenda in here. Is because I'm thinking is because the elderly people that have underlying health conditions are a burden on the healthcare system, so they want to get rid of them.
Mhm.
So when you get rid of these people, you bring more people back in. It's like a production line here. You know, that's what I'm thinking that's going on.
Yeah. That's where the WHO is the World Homicidal Organization. Remember, it was
Yeah, that's what we called them back in the day.
the old flyers.
Yeah, the old flyers. Yeah,
Those were the days.
yeah. I still got quite a few of those Bush dollars,
Oh wow, Bush dollars.
the Bush dollars, and there was one with the Harper dollar.
You think they'd have Trump bucks by now?
$12, yeah. Uncle Buck.
I do remember there was the Obama one too, Obama dollar.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of them. I got a stack of them here still. And that's where Mark and I went to Square One time. We're not handing out the Obama dollars or the Bush dollars. We're walking around putting them on seats and all that kind of stuff. This was a number of years ago, and the security are up top watching us putting the flyers on the tables so people can pick them up. And we got in trouble.
Huh.
Yeah, we got in trouble. We almost got barred from Square One. It was funny.
You're under investigation at Square One.
Yeah, at that time, yeah.
This
I
was the
think
trouble
it's
you caused.
2010 or 9 or something like that. They had the tons of security around the mall, right? And we just happened to put these Bush dollars on the table so people could read them because we never really thought that we're doing anything wrong, because they probably thought that this, like, you shouldn't be doing this type of thing. You should have more respect for George Bush. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah, yeah. So we almost got banned from the mall.
Which reminds me of how they're banning everyone from different social media platforms. It's like you were almost deplatformed from the mall. The mall
Yeah,
was a platform.
but at that time we were able to have freedom of speech and all that kind of stuff at
Yeah.
that time. But not so much anymore. It's we've been ridiculed, and we've been shut down, and we're just waiting for our show to be shut down too. So,
Yeah.
but you never know.
Eventually.
You bet eventually, yeah. They want to go to the bigger guys, like Dan Dix and all these other ones, and just to
Yeah.
make examples of them.
Anything with David Icke, anything with Dr. Judy Mikovits, anything
Yeah.
questions the pandemic,
Hmm.
they can ban it. Because basically, even though the World Health Organization isn't even being funded by the U.S. anymore, that's one of the things, good things that Trump seems to have done in the past few months.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
But he, even though that's happening, all these social media like Twitter, Facebook, all of it's still following the WHO guidelines. So if you go against it, then
Exactly. Yeah.
they're going to take
Just
all
like
your stuff down.
Yeah, just like CP24, they're all on the WHO bandwagon, and CNN, and so is 680 News as well.
Yeah.
Because they can't be biased; they have to be unbiased. They can't, they can't like upend the cart.
Mhm. And it's part of it is a Trump derangement syndrome too, because they proved that too with the hydroxychloroquine,
Yeah.
that was actually they tried to pretend that it was a really deadly thing to try
Mhm.
to take it, but then they had to retract the study. They just had to retract it from the New England Journal of Medicine and the Lancet.
And the Lancet, yeah, the
Both.
Lancet, the Lancet were on that list of of talking about vaccines and all this kind of stuff, and how many people actually got sick after they've gotten the vaccine, like polio and measles and all that kind of stuff. The
Yeah, they
Lancet,
had the data.
yes, oh yeah, they do, yeah.
But so that's where they couldn't back up the data with this fake stuff against hydroxychloroquine. I think they only published it because they wanted to, because Trump was trying to say it was good. So
yeah, mm-hmm.
there's that, and the fact that it's cheaper than all these other things they're trying to get people to do for COVID.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
It's just a generic pill they've got.
Yeah, but for me, it's pretty simple and straightforward. Eat properly, get enough regular exercise or whatever, and get lots of UV from the sun, that type of thing. Because I was talking to one lady and said, "Well, you only need 20 minutes a day." I said, "Well, tell that to a construction worker or somebody's doing roofing.
Yeah.
They'd never make any money if they're only up there for 20 minutes and that's it. They go broke."
Yeah.
No, these construction workers are healthy and roofers are healthy.
Until they figure out how to inject the sunlight, they might be able to inject.
Well, you got vitamin D drops, which I have. They got them for kids too, as well.
Yeah. That would be a lot easier than getting some kind of foreign particles injected into your bloodstream through a needle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or even a quantum dot tattoo where the thing dissolves into your arms or whatever, these micro needles.
Micro needles, yeah.
Because they in Madagascar even they came out with a thing saying they had a tonic drink that will cure COVID. And the WHO refused to even talk to them about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the WHO already has this plan to get everyone the shot. So they have no desire to have this cured with a drink.
Yeah.
Because imagine you could just drink something, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You'd be able to
eat,
the effects.
as long as you eat healthy, like I said, and go out in the sun, like I do. I'm brown. I'm brown.
Mhm.
You know, I'm out there in the sun, and I feel good. You're healthy. Get out there, get some fresh air. You know, before they start chemtrailing again, we got to get out there, get some fresh air. Because they started doing some chemtrailing.
Oh wow.
One really, really high plane in the sky, you can barely see it. They have this
Wow.
very thin looking, well, it's not really thin, but when you're looking up from down here, it's like very thin, and then it's right up in the sky. It's just, then you can see it just expand. So I think they're starting up again slowly. That's one
Wow.
of the new phases, I think.
Yeah.
Getting
Chemtrails is in this phase, whichever phase we're in, or phase 3,
yeah,
phase 2.
yeah. Yeah.
It'll be a multi-phase approach. So perhaps as with more phases we go on, the less sunlight we'll be able to see. If they keep blocking it out, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see what happens. Then I was watching a video with Jesse Ventura. He's not a Trump fan. He's not a Trump fan whatsoever. He's for the Green Party in the United States.
Oh wow! But have the Green Party picked a leader yet, or is there still no candidate? We don't know.
Well, he didn't mention if there was any candidate, but he's for the the, the Green Party, and he dislikes what Trump is doing about bringing the military in to take care of these
Mhm.
riots.
Yeah.
And he's basically saying Trump is doing it all wrong. We should, if you're bringing in the military onto the streets, that means that's going to be martial law coming in here.
Yeah.
So what Trump is supposedly doing, what he's saying is that bringing in martial law.
Yeah. It's true. You can see it.
Yeah,
You can see it on the streets. This is martial law. But that is what rioting leads to. That's why it's not. It's a dangerous thing to be encouraging.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It would be better if Jesse Ventura was still there, but I think he even left Minnesota. He probably knew that it was a troubled state. That's
Yeah,
why he moved down to Mexico.
yeah. He says it's a great place down there, right? He says he loves it there,
Yeah.
and he can still do his RT, The World
Mhm.
According to Jesse.
Yeah. Which is a good show.
Oh yeah, it is a good show. Yeah.
Well,
Just
hopefully he runs, but we'll see who they pull out. If the Green Party pulls out an interesting candidate, they'll get a lot of votes just because it's that kind of election where no one wants to vote for Biden.
oh yeah, old Sleepy Joe or Sniffy Joe.
So he's not even like a real candidate at this point. So it's really like Trump is going to win, but you need that's where you need a third party to come in and they can actually get a few votes here.
Yeah.
Because otherwise Trump is just going to win in a landslide here.
Yeah, yeah. Just like he did in the beginning.
The more chaos there is, and you've got Joe taking a knee and wearing a mask, and
Yeah,
it's not the right sight. We just need
yeah,
to breathe clear, try to think clear, breathe
exactly.
some
Yes,
fresh air.
yeah, and that's the way to do it. The old-fashioned way.
Get the bike going.
Get the bike going. That's how I move along, and I talk to people that I want to talk to, and I get information from other people. Which is a good thing.
Freedom for Dan Dix. Justice for Big Floyd.
Yeah, and justice for freedom and freedom of speech in general. We need to get that all back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a New World Order. It's Nature Boy Buddy Rogers.
Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. Yeah.
The championship's on the line. This is really the match. This is the one to do it. Is the fight against the secret virus. As long as we can get out of the lockdown and get a few save a few businesses before they're torched.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you might still have some of the old normal left. Otherwise, we're in the new normal, which is the New World Order, and you're gonna have.
Yeah, well, Trudeau said that right off the bat. You're in a new normal now. And these, like I said earlier, these phases are basically to bring you in an illusion of normalcy, and
Mhm.
keeping certain restrictions behind, and keep them there, because you're not going to get full freedom anymore. It's done. We're finished because we gave
Mhm.
them up. People were willfully ignorant and gave them up
Yeah.
instead of fight. They gave up. They
The,
said, "Okay, I give up. I give
the
up."
trouble is, though, once they turn the mob on, once you turn on this mob, then sometimes they can't be stopped. Like you saw what happened to the guy that looks like Trudeau, the guy that's the mayor of Minneapolis.
Yeah.
He showed up at the meeting and then, or at the big protest, and they asked him if he'll support abolition of the police, and he says no. And then they make him walk out in shame. Did you see that, where they're telling him go home and
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
he's
boy.
walking out? It's a sad clip because he doesn't really have an entourage. He's just there by himself, so they had to send him out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I saw another clip of this guy who looks like Prince Charles, but it wasn't. It wasn't him. It was a lookalike.
Was that in England or was it somewhere else?
I believe it was England. You could probably look it up. I saw it on Facebook, right? That looks like Prince Charles.
Well, things could get a bit crazy in the future if the Queen has to resign or something and Prince Charles takes over. We don't know how bad things could get here
Yeah,
because he is still the head of Canada. He would become the king of Canada. Right now we have a Queen of Canada. But
yeah. I guess they're just waiting for her to pass on before they pass the torch.
yeah, she doesn't want to pass it while she's still alive. It looks like.
No, no, she's still working. She still signs papers. She still signs
Yeah.
this, that, and the other thing. So,
She seems with it, but the husband doesn't seem with it. Prince Philip, he seems.
oh, he's way out there. I don't know.
He's been driving cars into people and who knows what else.
Yeah, I remember seeing him at the Royal Agricultural Fair a number of years ago.
Wow.
Him in person.
With the Queen or just him?
Just him.
Huh.
Yeah, he was just like riding around in a carriage and waving at everybody, and I sort of kind of give a little bit of a wave too,
These are his royal duties. This is what happens.
But I didn't get anything out of it when I waved to him. What did I get? Nothing. He didn't throw any money at me. He didn't say, "I'll meet you after the show."
No. But
Yeah,
you don't. Yeah, you don't. I don't. From him, I don't think you want anything because he's the kind of guy that wants to come back to life, resurrected as a deadly virus to take out a
maybe
large
this
portion of the population.
maybe the COVID-19 was that deadly virus.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't heard much of Prince Philip. He could have passed away. He could have turned into the virus. They're keeping him on ice.
Yeah, but then everybody like that, royalty or president or prime minister, they always have a double.
Yeah.
Always have a double.
That is true. It does seem like that's what happened. And then you see it with all the big celebrities like Michael Jackson, the guy that died wasn't the real Michael Jackson.
Yeah. And
They
Bill
say that the Saddam Hussein as well. They say that wasn't the real Saddam.
Yeah, and Bill Clinton.
Yeah, we don't know who's the real Bill Clinton. Probably at least the real Bill Clinton's been on the Epstein Express, though. Probably the plane.
Yeah,
You know that.
Oh yeah, a lot of them were like that. Yeah, for sure. Prince Andrew, one of the other notables.
Well, it had that because there is just a new Netflix documentary on Epstein that just came out. Had it come out a few weeks before, everyone would be watching it. But
Yeah, well,
everyone's busy protesting and stuff, so probably it's not as popular as it would be.
Yeah, well, I don't have Netflix or Net Sucks or whatever you call it. I don't have that.
No, you don't need it.
I don't need it. Well, not unless it has Angry Beaver on there, then I'll watch it. But then I gotta actually get the app and put it on the phone. But then I gotta pay for that. I don't want to pay for it.
No, that'll be Angry Beaver the series once we have it ready for prime time.
Ready for prime time, yeah. Yeah. I wonder about that prime time. All right. But it should be
Well, it's
interesting.
probably a good time to wrap it up, though. If we got last thoughts for ABR.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
we'll see how it goes, and we'll keep up on this crazy COVID-19 stuff, and all these riots going on and everything else too, right? So yeah, so I think the riots have taken over COVID-19 as the story.
yeah, that seem to be what happened, and it definitely does seem to be all sketchy stuff going on. It's like controlled opposition. We got
Mm.
possible fake riots. I've never seen a big movement like this since Occupy, which we know was totally
Yeah.
co-opted. So
Mhm.
we don't
Yeah.
quite know what the agenda here is. We do know it's an election year, so that's playing into it.
Yeah. Well, at least here's herd immunity. Everybody's together,
Yeah.
but everybody's wearing masks.
I think, yeah, that's probably why it's been approved by all medical associations, and the WHO and everyone has endorsed the protests, because they know that the majority of the protesters are actually hardcore anarchists that are wearing masks. They're all like ready to riot.
Well, look in Montreal. Remember, they were complaining about the mayor is complaining about people around there wearing masks. And said, "You got to take off your mask. We want to see who you are." But now it's okay.
Yeah, well, if they actually have some of this new technology, they should be able to find them just by having their eyes on some of these cameras now. They can.
Yeah.
Mike Cernovich was showing this app they have where they can
Mhm.
identify people from CCTV cameras, even if they're wearing like a mask,
Yeah.
just from like the shape of their body, the way they walk, and like the way their eyes are,
Oh yeah. Yeah. The whole swagger, right?
all within seconds too. So if they really wanted to, a lot of these rioters could be in trouble. Right now, it seems like they're getting a free pass, though. You're fine to loot or riot.
Yeah. That I agree.
But if they do turn it to the real new normal of the new world order, all these people will be in big trouble, because it's gonna become a police state. Basically, they're just riding their way into
Yeah.
the new terrible, I guess.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out on a limb, Daniel. I'm I'm going to go up to somebody and tell them if they're wearing a mask, and I'm going to say, "Are you from Antifa or Black Lives Matter, or what group are you from? Are you a protester?" I think I should go out on a limb. Just talk to some Joe or Jane on the street.
Yeah.
See how much fanfare I get.
Well, if we were able to have the truth table, we could somehow get some masks printed up with truth slogans, hand those out if people would wear them. That'd be get 9/11 was an inside job mask.
Yeah, yeah. COVID-19 was an inside job mask.
False flag flu.
False flag flu mask.
Yeah, shot is the pandemic.
Yeah.
We
The
got
shot
some
is
good mask ideas. We'll have to.
the shot is the plandemic.
I would open up now, end the lockdown.
Yeah, that's what we got to do. Get some flyers up, talking about all this stuff. Yeah, that'd be a neat idea.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
No, you didn't.
There's a lot. There's a lot of different things we could be doing, but I guess we'll save that for the next show. We'll get our masks in line and come back even stronger than ever.
Yeah, we're gonna get. Well, somebody made money off those masks. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, and the hand sanitizer, and soon to be the vaccine. But you got to try to not get that for as long as you can. You know they're gonna go door to door with the Chinese military, but we just hope that it doesn't happen yet.
Well, I just hope they bring me my dim sum, first before I get the shot. I want to have my chicken sugai or something like that, before I take the shot.
Yeah. And watch out for what they're spraying. Who knows what in the world they're spraying? They're spraying something. It's disinfecting stuff, but it could be infecting other stuff. We don't know.
Yeah, they're spraying in the parks now. The pesticides for this
Oh no.
the bug. They put a date on it that said June 1st to the 4th. They're
Oh
going
no.
into the parks and they're doing that.
Yeah, they were saying they were doing that with gypsy moths too. The gypsy moth spray.
Yeah. Mhm.
This is the game they play this time of year, though. So just try to breathe easy. Maybe wear a
Um,
gas mask if you can.
Well, yeah, I get a lot of it. You get a lot of attention wearing a gas mask. Going to square one. Really eating sense wearing a gas mask. Well, you get a lot of attention. Sure.
Yeah. So let's get to reopening soon, and we'll hit you. We'll talk to you on the next episode. Angry
no
Beaver
problem.
Radio.
Yeah. Have a good evening, everybody. Take care.
Word out.
As the old saying goes, idleness is a holiday of fools. So get off the couch, put away your TV for a while, and come out and do something. It's a beautiful day for all this, great day, a little bit of snow, but who cares? We just want to get the information out and come out here and support these people, because we the people cannot sit down and idly do nothing. So get your DVDs out there, give it to everybody you want. Your enemies, if you have any. If not, then that's okay too. And just do what you have to do. Because if you don't, then we're going to be taken over. And we don't want to become part of the New World Order. We don't want to have that. Because that's what's happening, what's going on in the world today. So let's get out and do things. And hopefully when the weather gets better, we'll have some more street actions. I can hardly wait. I'm itching to get back to doing our street actions again. But even if it is cold, just get out there, leave DVDs, flyers on the buses, trains, anywhere, benches, talk to people, sit down beside somebody, strike up a conversation, and talk about the issues. Most people want to talk about the issues. Nobody wants to be lied to anymore. So, yeah, let's do the right thing, and everybody have a great day and a great evening, and be safe, everybody. Thank you.
From the Queen's Park, we need to hold on. If we move too quick, everything we're doing might have been for nothing. People are talking all real and then real, and that it's not happening yet. Hey, I understand that people wanna get out there. I understand that, but we have to be responsible. It just burns me up. These are the things we know.
All we have to do is stay the places.
A bunch of yahoos from the Queen's Park, from the Queen's Park. A bunch of yahoos from the Queen's Park, from the Queen's Park. A bunch of yahoos.